Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Southern Puma, the jack of all trades, master of none. And before we begin to what I am talking about today, I have two displays. Now, I have my laptop, and I figured out how to cast my computer to my TV. So if you see me looking up like this, it's so I can get a better view of what I'm going to be talking about. Because today, I am going to be predicting, or giving my predictions for WrestleMania 39. Now, I'll leave a link to this article that I'm looking at from DAZN in the description down below. And as you can see, the first thing on this card, or not on the card, but the first thing on this list that I've highlighted, Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. Now, this match is going to be kind of divisive anyway, because of the guys that are in it. But by divisive, I mean people are going to want Logan Paul to lose this. But I know it's going to be a banger match between the two, because Logan Paul always has great matches, and people can't seem to figure that out yet after 3 of them. So I'm going to say, overall, the match itself, Rollins is going to win, but it's going to be a great match. Next up, Austin Theory versus John Cena for the U.S. Whoops. Having a bit of technical difficulties here because it won't be lagging for you guys, but it'll be lagging for me because I still haven't really figured this bit out yet. Here we go. Next up, Austin Theory versus John Cena for the U.S. title, and as I'm recording this match was announced to kick off night 1. Now, you can't have a better kickoff for night 1 than Cena and Theory. I mean, that's one of the more anticipated matches for the show. But the thing is, with this one, I have a special tie to it, because John Cena is my childhood hero. I grew up watching John Cena, and I have a bit of a tie to him. So, nostalgia-wise, this match is really big for me. But Austin Theory, I feel like if you're going to have somebody face John Cena, then you must have a lot of trust in that person who you are building. So, I feel like Theory comes out on top with this one and retains the title, because Cena can't really afford to waste time with the title, because he's got movies to make. Next one, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's title. By the way, I'm saving the Roman and Cody prediction for last. Anyway, yeah, but for Charlotte and Rhea, duh. Like, if they have Charlotte beat Rhea, that'll be the most backwards decision. That'll be extremely backwards, because you want to build new stars, and Rhea has been built up for years as the new star, and this feud is heavily pushing the fact that Charlotte beat Rhea at Mania 36 during the pandemic. So I feel like Rhea should come out on top on this one. Next up, hold on, let me highlight it here, yeah. Bianca Belair and Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. I feel like Bianca should win this one because if Rhea wins her match against Charlotte, which I'm saying she will, then Bianca should win her match against Asuka to have that like wave of the future thing. Because they did that at Mania 37, but the only one that really came out on top at the end of it was Bianca. So I feel like they need to rectify that this year by having Rhea and Bianca on both brands as dominant women's champions. But that's just me. Next up, the match I am looking forward to the least, Brock Lesnar versus Omos. Now, it's going to be Brock Lesnar going over. Fucking duh. But I'm kind of intrigued about that match. I'm kind of intrigued. I don't really care about the match itself. And I want Brock Lesnar to beat Omos, but it's just, I'm intrigued to see where they're going to go with it and how they're going to do it. And now one that I'm more intrigued in, Gunther versus Drew versus Sheamus for the Intercontinental title. Now, this one I have an emotional tie to because Sheamus is so desperately close to becoming the first ever Ultimate Grand Slam in WWE history. And if you need that bit of history. I feel like Sheamus should win. And as for Gunther, when he loses the belt, it ought to be, I can't speak. I don't know why I can't speak. Gunther should lose the belt, like I keep saying, at Mania, but if you want to keep him strong, have Sheamus beat Drew. Because I think that's where they're going to go with it. And you're going to keep Gunther strong, but also give Sheamus that accolade that he desperately deserves. Next match, Lita, Trish, and Becky versus Damage Control. What I really want out of this match is just the Legends and Becky just beat the piss out of Damage Control because they're not really it. They're not really the thing that people are. They're not really what people want, is what I'm trying to say. People want them to be this dominant faction, and they want them to do this and that, but I just don't think they're it. You know what I mean? Like, I think this one is a miss. Next match. Oh, by the way, my prediction for the Lita, Becky, and Trish versus Damage Control. Lita, Trish, and Becky come out with the win. Edge versus Finn Balor in Hell in a Cell. That's the next one. I feel like, because this whole feud has been dominated by Judgment Day. Edge versus Judgment Day has been dominated by Judgment Day. I feel like Edge should win this match in particular because he's already gotten Judgment Day over to a degree that they need to be at. But I feel like if they just have Judgment Day clean sweep the feud with Edge, it would kill Edge's credibility. And I know he's a Hall of Famer, but this would kind of screw him over. And for over a year now, he's been feuding with Judgment Day, and it's gotten kind of annoying because it's become a pattern, and Edge knows this. He started the feud, and then he went out with injury, then came back, then went out with injury again, kayfabe injury this time, and then came back again, and it's just become a cycle. And I want Edge to end that cycle. Because there's the thing, when he was feuding with Seth Rollins, they ended it in Hell in a Cell where Edge came out on top. So I feel like the Hell in a Cell is kinda Edge's domain, in a way. So I feel like Edge goes comes out on top. Now for just a random match that they're building as a showcase, aka get as many people at WrestleMania as possible. Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders. I do not care. But if I had to pick, it'd either be the Profits or Strowman and Ricochet. I just really don't care about that one, to be honest. And going from something I don't care about to something I care a lot about, the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the Undisputed title. Or Undisputed Tag titles. Now, the Bloodline storyline has been one of the best, if not the best, story going into WrestleMania. It's been built up over 3 years with Roman and the Usos and Sammy and everybody involved. It's been built up over a long fucking time. And Sammy, who is but Kevin and Sammy, who have just reunited, taking on the Usos for the titles. I feel like Sammy and Kevin should win. Like, I feel like that's the best way to end Sammy and Kevin's chapter with the Bloodline. Now, the next matchup I'll talk about in a minute, but I feel like Sammy and Kevin should beat the Usos for the titles. And like I said about the Seth and Logan Paul match, it's going to be a great match regardless. And I don't really have a specific dog in the fight. The Usos are the best tag team in the world, and they've proven that over a decade. And Sammy and Kevin, this is their best shot to get something out of the Bloodline. So yeah, I feel like Sammy and Kevin should win. And now for the main event of Night 2, which, fucking duh. It hadn't even been confirmed yet, but I can already tell you that it is. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Now, this match right here has the possibility to do two things. I'm going to explain to you what those are. One, because no matter how this goes, it's going to have a ripple effect across both of their careers. If Roman wins, he goes on to have one of the greatest... He's already had one of the greatest world title reigns in history, but if he goes past 1,000 days, he will no doubt go in history as one of the greatest world champions, not even in WWE history, but in professional wrestling history. On the other side of the coin, if you have Cody beat Roman at WrestleMania, I feel like that would, since he just came back from injury, I feel like that wouldn't really be good for Cody, because they would be behind him for a couple of weeks, and then they would turn on him. Just like they did with Roman, just like they did with Cena back in the day. And I just don't think having Cody win here is good for either one of them. But I'd imagine that's probably what they're going to do. But then again, I don't really know. Because they've been really making it they're really making fans think about it. With Cody and Roman, they both have immense amounts to lose. Roman has the chance to lose his opportunity to kind of... Again, he's already become one of the greatest champions in WWE history. But if he goes past 1,000 days, he could be one of the greatest world champions in wrestling history. He could lose that opportunity. Cody could lose the opportunity of being the star that WWE wants him to be. So I feel like the best course of action here is Roman win at Mania, have Cody go through a bit of a slump and work his way up to SummerSlam, and that is where you pull the trigger on Cody becoming champion. I feel like that's the best way to go about it, so you don't have Cody gain a fuck ton of heat for ending the bloodline too soon, but also have the bloodline not end, but kind of dissolve out in a way. Because the thing is, they take up 90% of the show now. They take up most of the show. 90% is a bit of an exaggeration, but they take up most of the show. And it's kind of ridiculous. But I feel like keeping on building the dissension in the bloodline until SummerSlam, I feel like that would really help Cody it'll make Cody's win feel more special, because he would beat Roman when he reaches 1,000 days. And I feel like the emotional weight of the end of Roman's reign will be heavier. Because regardless, whoever beats Roman is going to go out on top at the end of the match. No question. But it should be after he hits 1,000, so it feels as special as it can be. You know what I mean? So overall, kind of a cop-out here, but I don't have a specific prediction. But yeah, overall, that's kind of my thoughts on how this is gonna go. Because regardless, WrestleMania this year is gonna be fucking epic. And you already know, repping the Kevin Owens shirt, so you know who I got coming out at the end of the tag team match. But who do you think is going to win Roman versus Cody? I'll leave that up to you in the comments down below, and in the community post at the community post that's going to be on my YouTube channel after this video goes up. And I'm recording this on Saturday, March 25th. So a week before Mania, a lot can change. A lot can change. And if stuff does change, I will say something about it, and I will make a video on it. But anyway, this video is more than likely going to go out Saturday on the 26th. So if you're watching this before or after then, tell me if you noticed anything that changed on Raw or something. But I'm rambling. It's been a pretty interesting video for me to record. This is my first prediction video since the Ring of Honor prediction live stream that I did. You can go right here to watch that. It's an old ass video. An old video of mine, like 2021. But anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. Click right here to check out more wrestling, check out some wrestling reactions. Go over here to check out some Variety Friday. I'll see y'all in the next one. Deuces.